What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Get Down Live podcast. Woo. I'm your girl, Livy E, and we got our man Sly in the building. What's up, Sly?
What up? What's going down, man? What's going on?
How you feeling?
I'm feeling terrible. I got a cold,
but it's okay.
Yeah, it ain't the coronavirus, you know what I mean?
Right. You shining. Our girl, Essence Love, isn't here today, but she is here in spirit.
I saw her riding dolphins in Malibu. I swear I saw her.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Shout out to Essence Love for coming and supporting your girl on her birthday. I forgot to say that. Yeah, she is a real one. She came out, so
it's crazy. Yeah, and you know, it's a crazy thing because we were supposed to be there. We got jammed up in the meeting, and
it's cool.
But
because y'all gonna make it up to me, so it don't even matter.
Exactly. But see, this is why I got the coronavirus. It's because Tommy gave it to me.
Don't claim it.
Tommy gave it to me. He was sick that day.
Oh Lord.
No, we were cooped up in a room, and he was talking all in my face. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happened.
Oh Lord. Well, we're glad you're here, and you're still shining. So today's topic, what do you guys think? Should corporal punishment still be in the schools? So, you know, still whipping the kids in school, paddling, maybe hitting them with a ruler. What are your thoughts, Sly?
I say, because I'm kind of conflicted, but I say, hell no. Okay.
Why you say hell no?
Okay, so like, let's say like a babysitter, like if they pop your hands with a ruler, depends. That's a very fine line because I really don't want nobody else hitting my kids because they don't love them like I do, you know. And if I would ever see it, I don't know what'd happen because I would probably turn into someone else,
right? And
I'd be like, "You hit my kid, I hit you, you know." But I'm gonna hit you till you stop moving. You know what I mean? So it's like,
oh shucks,
I don't want to see that, and none of my kids had better ever bend over and let another person paddle them because I'm shooting up the school. At this point, I'm going after the person.
Y'all better watch out for
you
Daddy Sly.
No stuff. You paddle my kid, you getting broke. Yeah. So
for me, I'm a little different because being Nigerian, we're very big on discipline. And so, like, if I went to boarding school back in Nigeria, they whip you in school. Yeah. And, you know, they say it takes a village to raise a child. So they're very big on, like, if you're in school, they have the right to whip you, maybe, you know, put you in shape. I mean, put you back in line. Yeah, if you're not listening, and they're very big on respect. So if you're disrespecting your elders, if you're not doing your assignments, they use that to, you know, to keep the kids in line. So for me, it's a little tricky because they can get crazy, or sometimes it won't be the teachers whooping them. They might have like the upperclassmen come like get one of the kids to whoop them. I know it sounds crazy, but hey, it keeps them in line. They be getting straight A's. So it's a little, I don't know.
That's why I say it's kind of iffy.
It's a little tricky, but I feel like back in the day it's worked. I feel like maybe nowadays it might not be good. And then I'm thinking about like the stuff that you see on YouTube with teachers hitting kids or fighting them. But I mean,
I think like
as long as there's structure with it, I feel like I'm not against it. But
that's why I say it's iffy, because if you're in a community, and everybody is pretty much on the same page, and you're out there being bad, and the lady next door like, come here, and you know she pop you a couple of times to get you in line. Yeah,
that's kind of how it is.
Yeah, but I don't want the pervert down the street getting off to it. You know what I'm saying?
See,
so it gets a little iffy.
When
you know what I'm saying?
It's like that. Yeah.
It's like now, because you might be in the bondage or something like that, and you trying to spank my kid. Yeah, I
mean, in 19 states right now, like mainly in the South, they still have corporal punishment. So
yeah,
and what do you think?
And you know, they do say that black males or black people in general get it worse when it comes to that. I guess because they figure we're always the ones in trouble because we don't really. Well, we don't get the fair shake. You know what I mean? It's like when we do something, it's to the worst. Yeah. But if you get like white or maybe, because I think the Asians, I think they do beat them because they be in line. You know what I'm saying? But it's like we get the worst. Like a white guy can do something, or a white child can do something. Let's say a Caucasian child can do something that African American child does the same thing, and the African American child will get the worst punishment. And the white child probably gets a slap on the wrist. But the African American child probably get beat down. So yeah, I think it's a little different.
I can't lie. I mean, I work in the schools, and I can definitely tell or see where.
Well, what age does it cut off at? Because nobody's beating me.
Well, no. Once you kind of like start getting
5.
taller, once you start getting taller than the teachers.
When you can load a gun
I don't know,
and
man.
cock it.
Sometimes working in these schools, I feel like I wish we could, because some of them don't have discipline, and we have so many young parents who don't have any structure. A lot of these kids are just all over the place. But I mean, I guess we have to leave it up to the parents to make a way. But we have a special guest in the building today, y'all. Yes. We have Miss Rebekah, who happens to be the founder of Anphon Medical Corporation. So, Miss Rebekah, can you tell us more about your organization and what it's doing for the community?
Rebekah Jennings.
She has all the accolades, guys.
What's up, girl? The crowd is loving her. She ain't even said nothing yet.
Yes. Hello. Yes. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. It is a health and human services organization. So there's two sides to the same coin. We have the health side, which is a general practice and pediatrician. And then we have the human services side. So that's when we do health outreach and health fairs and health education.
Oh, nice.
So, do you have kids?
Yes.
Okay. Do you beat them?
No.
Do you spank them?
No, it's a girl.
It's a girl?
So
Okay.
I feel like girls, you don't really need to do that. They're a little bit calmer.
No,
Right.
Beat them first.
No, they're ladies.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. they can do damage. But no, I mean, for the question of the day,
Yes.
it was corporal punishment. Do you still think we should have corporal punishment? What do you do? No. Okay, across the board.
Yes.
Okay, and why is that?
For the same reason you spoke of earlier. You said that it's not fair.
Right.
And teachers are human, and they do have their favorites. And so, one kid might get, just a yelling or, a stern talking, and the other kid might get, beat down for the exact same, situation.
Right.
So, I don't think it's a fair thing. And then, what if the teacher doesn't like the parents?
So
So-
a lot of things play into it. Yeah.
Exactly. So
You're
there's
right.
favoritism and, things of that nature that might play
That
into
is
it.
very true.
Now, if let's say if there were, what age do you think it should stop?
Ooh, that's a
Or what
good
age would it
question.
start and what age would it stop?
That's a good question. I don't know. Because
I'm thinking
What you think, Whitney?
I'm thinking it should start maybe around
1?
no.
Hey, because terrible
I
twos.
mean, it could be
is
1,
pop,
but that
pop
can
time.
be just like little,
Yeah, pop.
But then I think it should stop maybe.
At 5. 1 to 5.
No, I feel like even in like 8th grade, so maybe like
8th grade. No, that's when you get beat up.
Oh, when you start.
you get beat down at that point? No
she
more
said
popping?
8th grade? No, you punching them in the face by now.
So spankings, okay. So maybe like
5.
5, 6.
That's what I say, 1 to 5. Because at 5, okay, from 1, you're learning and you learn what to do and what not to do. And 2 is when you're terrible, 2 and 3. And then 4, you kind of got it. And then at 5, you should have it.
And then it doesn't take too much to like,
right.
kind of scare them. Like it
you
could
scared,
be.
because they know what's coming.
Exactly.
Right?
But
That's
see,
what- that makes
the
sense.
question is, what would be considered appropriate, though?
Exactly.
Is it a pop on the hand? Is it a kick in the gut?
Good
You know
Lord,
what I
yeah.
mean? Because those 7-year-old boys are hard-headed.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
And
so
some people are
what's
stupid.
appropriate?
There has to be some guidelines. It has
Definitely got to be some guidelines. The guideline is tell me and I'll do it. Because I'm only, because when I used to get a whooping back in the day, and I got billions of them. Well, not me. It was when my mom whooped I think it was my brother. She would say, it hurts me more than it hurts you. I'm like, go figure, because it's hurting me a whole lot more. You ain't got to do it. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, I get what you're saying because you don't want to do it,
Right.
but you have to set an example because if the person that loves you won't do it, the person that don't love you will.
Right.
And they don't care because they just might be scared themselves, which is the cops. So I guess, I don't know. It's a here or there. I mean, you got to have a community of sane people, and these days, because I don't want no crackhead spanking my kids. Like, you crazy?
Agreed.
Like, you need a spanking. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you're not gonna be whooping on my kids. Forget that. No, you over there playing with yourself and doing drugs and nah, get out of here with that.
So, Miss Rebekah, I see that you have over 13 years of experience in healthcare.
Yes.
Let me know more about, you working with teen pregnancy in that field. What is it like working with these young women? And, what are your thoughts on teen pregnancy and, maybe how we can prevent it or, how you feel about the situation?
I started working with teen pregnancy with the LA County Office of Education in Downey. Yeah. So it was the Teen Pregnancy Prevention Program.
Wow.
And I loved it.
Wow.
I absolutely loved it. We would go to different LAUSD schools and talk to the teen moms. Mind you, they were already parents. So we were trying to prevent them from having more kids.
Yeah.
They're like, too late.
Right, you're already here,
Yeah.
But it was really interesting because they're teenagers dealing with adult situations.
Yes.
Right? So how do you convince a teenager that, you're not grown, but yet you're, you have a whole human, you're a parent.
Yeah.
Right? You have this huge responsibility of this, whole human being, whole nother human being. So it's like, well, what do you do? How do you talk to them? How do you communicate with them effectively? Right? Because you can talk to them and they're just like, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
But effectively where they can hear you and respect you, whatever you have to say.
What would you tell a teenage girl who might be going down the wrong path? What would you tell them? Do you give them advice or like what would you tell them if they were headed down that wrong a dark path and you could see it coming?
Well, first we tell them that they deserve more. Like it's not about you anymore.
Right.
It's about your child. And so you want to be able to provide a lifestyle for your child that's, worthy of what, you brought them here for. And you have to set a goal, and that kind of takes them out of themselves. So if you have a goal and you reach that goal and you work every day to reach that goal, then, you're putting yourself in a better place.
Right.
So that kind of, takes their mind out of their surroundings and say, hey, this is where I'm going. This is what I'm doing to reach that goal. And this is how I'm going to get there.
Yeah. It's funny because I was talking to a friend just recently, a lady, and she was a teenage mom, but she's older now. And when she was a teenage mom, she went to get her baby's ears pierced. And they were like, we need your parents' consent. She's like, I am the parent. And they're like, yeah, but we need your parents' consent.
Oh, wow.
It's like, and see, they don't think of these type of things.
Right.
Like, you're still a kid. You're still a kid.
Exactly.
So it kind of,
And you can imagine how frustrated she was in that situation.
She's like, this is my baby.
Right, exactly. So then you get that built up frustration. And then, if they come to school, right? Because by the time they come to school, big time attitude. And they're pretty much, and it's like, well, we don't know, what it took for them to even get there.
Right.
So we're just happy to see you.
Right.
And we're glad you're here. And, that's that's a whole nother situation because they're still kids.
Yeah.
So the program that you had, it was students who, they were already pregnant and the school made them go to this,
it was a separate program that catered towards, parent teens, whether it was a mom or a dad, but mostly, it's interesting, it's mostly girls in the program. But yeah.
And what were most of their common struggles? What were they dealing with? Were any of them dealing with depression or was it just, maybe telling their friends that they're pregnant or, because I remember when I was in school, we did have, we had a separate school or we used to say oh my God, there goes the pregnant girls walking by. So it was just a big deal seeing someone who you maybe had class with, walking with a different group of people. And, so what are their different struggles that they're going through?
Ooh. It's a whole nother life. They have to, and anybody who's been a parent, your life changes dramatically when you have kids, you know? So how do you deal with that when you're a teenager and your hormones are everywhere and you don't understand life, and now you have bills to pay, right? Because diapers are not cheap. You have formula. You're still living under your, parents' roof. And so, how do you respect your parents, even though, they still feel disrespected because you had this child on them, right? So then you have that rift in there. So, I mean, it's a whole,
it's crazy because coming from where I come from, I'm from Houston, but I'm from the bottom part of Houston, like Acres Home. And it was normal for us. Like I had my first child at 19.
Okay. And you're a teenage dad.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But it was like, okay, well, we keep moving on. But it was like, but see, I was driven, and nobody, single mother, always at work, but I was driven on my own. I wanted my own. But a lot of kids aren't wired that way, or a lot of people aren't wired that way. I don't know, because my wife, she was a teen mother as well, and she was a little bit more privileged. And for us who were poor, it wasn't a big deal. Everybody had a kid. For her, being privileged, because they had a little bit more money, it was a big deal. Really, really big deal. So, like, how do you compare them? Like, and does the men stay with the boys, stay with the women? Do y'all counsel them too?
That's a good question.
Most likely they don't, because of the maturity level. And when the child is young, the mother spends most of the time with the child. So the boy has the leadway to leave. I don't know how to say
He's
it.
got an avenue, right?
Right, he has an avenue to leave and
like,
actually continue his life. Exactly,
Right.
continue his life. So he's still in the regular school. He has that choice.
Yeah.
And, he can still go to the homie's house and, jump on the sticks and play, NBA 2K2. So, and the women are here, they have to, breastfeed.
Right.
So how do you, and then she's bitter about that, right? Because her heart is broken and she has this huge responsibility that most likely she didn't want. She wasn't ready for, mature-wise. But I think you hit the nail on the head when you said surroundings, where you were from. It wasn't a big deal.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure that helped you out a lot because you didn't know you were at a disadvantage.
Right. I didn't know I was at a disadvantage. Yeah.
Right.
Like, I fit in with everybody else.
Exactly. Like, oh, okay, here we go. But, you said your wife came from a different, background. And so privilege, they're like, Trey probably shamed her. She had to deal with a lot of shame and a lot of whispering and alienated. Right. And so imagine, mentally and emotionally on top of everything else that you have to deal with being in that circumstance.
Yeah. It's funny because when we got together, the first thing she told me was, I have a baby. And I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I got one too. So what's the big deal? You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm like, oh, we throwing things in each other's face now. I got one too. I mean, what's up? And she's like, oh, you don't care? I'm like, do you care?
Right.
And she's like, nah. And we've been riding ever since.
Right.
Like I, but I was always driven to like, hey, I'm going to get more. And what I figured I was going to give my kids what my father never gave me.
Absolutely.
And because people always ask, like, how do you do it? Like, I just give them everything that I didn't have, and then, is it kind of, because, the kids, they get a little ungrateful, you know what I mean? Because they don't know the struggle.
Right.
They don't know the struggle. So I'm like, sometimes, I try to take my hand off, but I don't take it off too far, so it's like,
Right.
I guess.
So what are your what's your advice for young men that are going through this situation? How would you coach them, or what advice would you have for them, to try to be present?
Absolutely. So like you said, try to be present, be present as much as possible. This is your responsibility as well, and so you have to take care of the child as well. Even if you're not with the child's mother anymore, it's still part of your responsibility, and you want to help cultivate this human being and be a part of, them growing up so that you can't, you won't perpetuate the whole, deadbeat father situation and have another broken home.
Absolutely. Hey, good question, Livy. Let me jump on that. So, because I had this situation, what do you do with the hard-headed girls that won't let the father in? And he wants to be just as involved, but she won't let him.
See, that right there is a legal situation that is
Wow.
really, we have to
That
be
is
careful.
tough.
Know that.
Absolutely.
That
You know,
is
we have to
tough.
really be careful about what we say, because we can't say, tell the father, hey, go ahead and file them papers, go
Yeah.
get your rights, and then she's like, that's not what I came here for. I came for education, and
Right.
you're over here breaking my family up and da-da-da.
Mm-hmm.
And then, right. So then now you
Yeah.
start getting to, legalities, and you're just like,
Because the man normally has no rights. I mean, it's starting to change a little bit, but it's not really, because I was watching Matt Barnes, matter of fact. Matt Barnes, even though they wasn't teens anymore, Matt Barnes had twins, and with Gloria from Basketball Wives,
yes.
right? Now, he had 50-50 custody, right? But he's an NBA player, so he has to go off a lot of times. And so it was still in place. Now, Gloria feels, or most women feel like they can do whatever they want with their kids.
Absolutely.
And the man don't have no say-so.
Ooh, I got a story. Keep going.
Yeah. Okay. And that's what she did. And then that was a problem at the school. Recently, there was a problem at the school. And then he was trying to get the kid out of the car because she was trying to,
I heard about that.
and she backed up, hit his arm. Then she
I
she
think
backed.
I did hear something crazy like
Yep.
that.
And then she hit the kid with the door too. So
Oh,
she ended up getting arrested.
Yeah, she did
got
get
arrested.
arrested. Yeah.
So his attorney told him, hey, if this is the time, if you want to go ahead and get full custody, let's do it now. He's like, well, you know what? She was a good mother. She just get crazy when I'm around. And he was like, well, listen, let's strike now while the iron's hot. And so he's like, all right, fine, let's do it. Now, he got full custody. Now, mind you, he had to pay, because this same thing that happened to me, they want you to pay for your attorney and hers, which is crazy, okay? But he had to do it. Now, he won full custody. 6 months later, she gets back 50-50. I'm like, that's just not fair, because if you reverse it, and it was him doing it, he'd have been in prison and have supervised visits, maybe once a month. So, I mean, that's just not fair.
When discussing that, the legal system is not for the males. It is definitely for the females, because they look as the mother and the child as one, right? And so the child's best interest, quote unquote, interest is always to be with the mother.
Okay.
And so that's why usually the women get so much leadway when it comes to something of that nature. Yeah, no matter how old the child is, they figure the child always needs his mother. Yeah.
I can see it. But...
Rebekah, tell us more. I'll skip my story. It
Why?
was just another dramatic. It was it was something that I seen like on.
The fans want to hear it.
I don't know, but it was a man whose child passed, and they were at the funeral, and the mother didn't let him see the baby see the child in the casket. Wow. So it was like the guy was shouting, they were like fighting, and it was so dramatic. So whatever drama that they had, the mom and dad had, she was like, nope, you're not even seeing your kid on their deathbed.
Was he in the child's life?
I don't know anything. It was just
okay.
I just seen the craziness going on. So
nothing.
I know women can get extreme, and I don't know. You'll
extremely
never understand.
Unfortunate.
Right.
Extremely.
So Rebekah, let us know more about your clinic. Like, what does it offer, and what can we see in your clinic?
Yeah, okay. So we service everyone from 0 to 100 or 1,000. Yeah, we turn no one away.
Wow.
So it's our job to make sure that every patient gets seen regardless of the ability to pay. And I make sure that all of my staff is trained properly according to that, There's different programs that they have like out there, like family planning, CHDP, which is for kids 19 and under. They have the sliding fee scale if you don't qualify for any of those programs, and it's cash patient.
So do you need like a certain type of insurance?
We accept all insurances.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Do you guys, and I know y'all hear some of the craziest stories.
Absolutely.
Do y'all have to take the child away or call CPS or what do they call it?
We are mandated reporters.
Okay.
So we do have protocol regarding that.
Okay.
And so the providers are trained, and so are my staff regarding those situations. And then you have very interesting situations where a 12-year-old might come for a STD or pregnancy check. Mind you, she's still a minor. Her parent might find out, and they might call. And want to know, what's going on with my child and blah, blah, blah.
So you legally, have to let them know? Okay.
Legally,
really?
we cannot. That's against the law.
Okay, so do you think that's a good law to have? Because if you, I guess it's 50-50. Because if the parents don't know, how can they help?
But see, that's assuming that the parent wants to help.
Exactly.
And not beat.
That's why I say 50-50. Because then if the parent don't care or the parent just want to beat the kid down, then they find out they're gonna beat the kid down.
Right.
What are your thoughts on you remember T.I., that situation where he was checking his daughter? What were your thoughts on that?
That's very invasive and
I believe so too. I think that.
I think that was very.
And for him to talk about it.
Exactly. Like, the fact that he was in the first place and she let that happen.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, that was very nice of her to do that. But for him to talk about it publicly and he has a public platform.
That wasn't fair.
Hopefully
that's not fair
he was
to her.
just joking I thought.
No, I think it was real because look at all the controversy it caused.
Right.
Yeah, well, let me ask you, is it hard to get a clinic or break into the healthcare system?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
I can bet all the permits and, I mean, but because
politics.
Wow.
So politics.
Really?
Yes.
Really? Where are you based?
In Inglewood.
Oh, Inglewood.
Yeah.
Wow.
And okay.
So I'm sure you needed a team. Like, how were you able to just get everything together?
So I've been in the healthcare field for almost 20 years.
Okay.
And so, and I started off as a pre-med student.
You started when you was 10 years old?
I'm like, you actually say yes.
Yeah, she like 30 years old.
Thank you. But I was a teenager. I was young. I was about 18. And a lot of my friends who were going on to medical school, they're a little bit older than me. They weren't happy. They were miserable. I mean, even when they were in medical school, I'm like,
yeah.
And then
I want to do that.
Right. I was like, I'm not sure about this. And they seem broke still. They still seem like they were struggling.
They are.
Well,
and I'm like,
they don't start making money until like way after. Like
Absolutely.
medical school, they're broke too. So.
Right. So then I ended up taking health policy class. And that was around the time that MLK, Killer King, remember? They were being investigated. Yeah. And if you guys remember, Martin Luther King Hospital was like the best trauma center, right? You know, they
My
would
mom
say,
worked there.
Yeah, so she knows absolutely the best trauma center. I mean, it was like military grade, you know? So that was a case study for us. And it was major. And I was so interested. I was like, wow. And imagine, how excited I got when I found out that, you don't have to be a doctor to own a medical center. And you end up paying the doctors and you make more than them.
There you
go.
Wow. 2 snaps to that. Yeah, I bet you guys didn't know that.
Hold up,
2 snaps to that.
Hold
Look
up.
at Miss Rebekah over here dropping some gems, you guys.
Hey, I'm going to start paying the astronauts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, Elon, right?
Yeah,
that.
I'm on top.
I love that.
Absolutely. But it's still an old Caucasian male game.
Yeah.
And you have to play it. You have to play it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But it's still a business. No matter what industry, it's still a business.
Absolutely.
And you have to treat it as such.
Wow.
Absolutely. I feel like anyone in the healthcare industry is amazing. And you guys have just big hearts with what you guys are doing. A quick question before you go. I want to know, do you think we still should have like sex ed classes in the schools?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Yes.
Because I don't see that anymore. Working in the schools.
Definitely have sex ed classes with tutorials for me.
Absolutely.
Oh Lord.
Like,
absolutely.
where was all these teachers at when I was in high school?
And maybe more videos about teen pregnancy.
Right.
I mean, I know they had the show Teen Mom and all that.
Which was a popular show.
It was very
Yeah.
popular, but then I feel like it was glorifying
that's actually
pregnancy
glorifying
because
it, yeah.
they start making money. So it was like, ooh, maybe I can become
A teen
mom and be on MTV and start making money.
Yep, and that was their attitude when they were coming to school. They're like, oh, I'm going to be on TV. Like, no, you're not. Right, yeah.
Because you deep south, you can forget it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man.
Right.
So, Miss Rebekah, let us know, how can we find you? How can we find out more information about your organization? Yes.
So you can definitely go to our website, amchealthcare.org.
AAN as in Nancy?
AMC.
Oh, AMC, like the movies.
Exactly. Exactly. Like the movies. Exactly. AMChealthcare.org.
We on the same page, Libby.
It's so funny because when I was thinking of the name, I was coming up with the name, I thought about that. And I was like, oh, that's good marketing, people.
There you
go.
go.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, nice. And then do you have an Instagram or anything like that?
Yeah, so our
Okay.
Instagram is 333 AMC.
Oh, perfect.
The letter
Yes.
333.
No, the number's
Number?
333.
I mean,
Okay.
Yes.
my bad. It's dyslexia, I guess. I don't know.
No.
What would it go?
The
All right,
number's
the number's
333.
333.
And just AMC, no underscore, no nothing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Got it.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Miss Rebekah. You were
having
just
me.
amazing.
Thank
It
you
was
for
such a
having
pleasure,
me.
such a beautiful spirit, you guys.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
And you guys make sure you check out her services. If this is something you need, if you maybe
Absolutely.
recommend it to a young person that you see that needs help, definitely
Absolutely.
get the help, you guys.
Thank you.
I got a question.
Yes.
I can't understand what the heck. Huh?
Oh,
That's right. Livy.
oh yeah, the location. Let us know I know you're based in Inglewood, but you can
Yes.
drop the address real quick on them.
So our address is 333 East Nutwood
Oh,
in
okay.
Inglewood, California.
Wait a
so
minute.
They right by Inglewood High School, y'all.
Absolutely.
Wait a
so
minute.
our,
Hold
we're right
up.
down Manchester and La Brea. Yes.
So
that's
this
what
is
I'm
a
talking
teen
about.
pregnancy center
Mhm.
on Nutwood Street.
Only you would say that, Sly.
Oh man!
Yes.
Only you would say that.
AMC is on Nutwood Street.
Yes,
Oh,
more
Lord.
patience. Come on in. More
Yeah.
patience for us.
There
Yes.
you go.
There you
guys
go.
only on the Get Down Live. You'll
You
hear-
can't write a better script, man. Come on. Only in Los Angeles, baby.
Oh my God.
Only in LA.
Oh, Lord.
All right, Livy.
Well, thank you so much, Miss Rebekah.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Get Down Live. I'm
Chill.
your girl, Livy E. We got Mr. Sly Jones.
I'm over here. I'm sick, but it's going down.
And we missed you, Essence Lab. And we'll see you next time,
Get
y'all.
off that dump and all right, peace out.
Mwah.